Welcome, Balram sir.
आवाज नहीं आ रही।
Sir.
कैसे हो आप?
बढ़िया।
बनारस में बारिश है?
मस्त लग रही हूँ सारा दिन काम करके।
अरे बहुत अच्छे, एकदम फ्रेश दिखाई दे रहे हो।
सारा दिन ऑफिस का काम किया है, अभी भी कॉल चल रही थी।
बनारस कैसा है? बरसात हो रही है नहीं हो रही? हेलो, सुन पा रहे हो आप? हेलो,
कभी कभी होती है।
मुझे कभी कभी अभी आवाज आई ना, मैंने सुनाई नहीं दे रहा था।
Okay, we are live on YouTube.
ओके, फ्रॉम टुडे।
Just now, yeah. This event is live on YouTube, Balram sir.
Very nice. So now it's our new launch of new YouTube channel.
Hi, Pradeep, how are you?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening. How are you? How are you?
Very fine, sir. Very fine. Very fine.
Okay.
Yes. We're relaxing outside in the lawn, eh?
Not in the lawn. This is my terrace.
It's very nice, eh? Lot of greenery around.
Yeah.
Balram sir, good evening.
Balram sir, can you hear us?
Trishi, good evening.
Good evening, Shaju sir.
Balram sir.
Balram sir, I think cannot hear us for some reason. Balram sir, can you hear us?
वो अभी सेट कर रहे हैं अपना सिस्टम सारा ना, अभी देख रहे हैं।
हाँ, maybe.
Pradeep, I wanted to compliment you for your intervention in the last weekly meeting.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for motivational word.
That's an ideal reaction from an ideal neurotarian.
Sir, मेरा बोलने का कोई experience नहीं है. It was the first time I spoke somewhere, eh?
Don't tell me. It doesn't look like that.
सर मैं तो आज तक भागता रहा, जो मुझे बोलने के लिए कहता था मैं भाग जाता था। टाइम थोड़ा सा कम था, कुछ बातें और कहना चाहता था मैं आपके विषय में।
You did it very well, Pradeep. You did it extremely well. Yeah.
चलिए आप बताते रहें सर, ठीक करते रहें, मुझे सिखाते रहें।
Extremely well.
जी।
I was just thinking, sirs, in this warm-up session, should we just play an organ donation video so that by the time people join, if that's okay?
Do that.
Okay, sir.
कितना 2 बाय 1 ना 2 फोटो
केरल के चित्तूर के सेंट मेरी अपर प्राइमरी स्कूल की छात्राओं ने मुझे एक पत्र भेजा है। पत्र अनेक रूप से विशेष है। एक तो इन बालिकाओं ने अपने अंगूठे के निशान से भारत माता का एक चित्र बनाया है, बहुत बड़े कपड़े पर वो भारत माता का, भारत के नक्शे का वो चित्र मुझे भेजा है। पहले मैं हैरान था कि उन्होंने अपने अंगूठे के निशान से भारत का नक्शा क्यों बनाया, लेकिन जब मैंने उनका पत्र पढ़ा तो मुझे समझ आया कि कितना बढ़िया सिंबॉलिक संदेश उन्होंने दिया है। ये वो बालिकाएं हैं जिन्होंने सिर्फ प्रधानमंत्री को जागरूक करने का प्रयास किया, ऐसा नहीं है। वो अपने क्षेत्र में भी लोगों को जागरूक करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं और उनका मिशन है अंगदान, ऑर्गन डोनेशन के लिए वे जन जागरूकता अभियान चला रही है। उन्होंने अनेक स्थानों पर जाकर के नाट्य मंचन भी किए हैं ताकि लोगों में अंगदान की समझ फैले, अंगदान एक वृत्ति और प्रवृत्ति बने। इन बालिकाओं ने मुझे चिट्ठी में लिखा है कि आप अपने मन की बात में ऑर्गन डोनेशन के विषय में लोगों से अपील कीजिए। महाराष्ट्र के करीब 80 वर्षीय वसंतराव सुड़के गुरुजी ये तो हमेशा एक मूवमेंट चलाते रहते हैं, कहते हैं अंगदान को एक उत्सव बनाना चाहिए। इन दिनों मुझे फोन कॉल पर भी काफी संदेश आते हैं। दिल्ली के देवेश ने भी ऐसा ही एक संदेश मुझे दिया है।
Devesh from Delhi. I'm very happy with the government's initiatives on the organ donation and the steps towards creating policy on the same. The country really needs support in the times where people need to go out and help each other. Countries like China.
Can you see the video?
हेलो,
Can you see?
आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही क्लियर।
प्रदीप सर वीडियो दिख रहा था?
हाँ दिखाई दे
दिख
रहा
रहा था। मोदी जी वाला ना?
हाँ जी हाँ जी।
अच्छा दिख रहा
हाँ दिख रहा था।
And Kenya very far ahead of us in terms of organ donation. And the ambitious target of 1 per million organ donation is a very proactive step taken by the government.
ये विषय काफी महत्वपूर्ण है ऐसा मुझे लगता है। देश में प्रति वर्ष 2.5 लाख से भी अधिक किडनी, हार्ट और लीवर डोनेशन की जरूरत है, लेकिन 125 करोड़ के देश में हमें सिर्फ 5,000 ट्रांसप्लांट को ही सफल कर पाते हैं। हर साल 1 लाख आंखों की रोशनी की जरूरत होती है और हम सिर्फ 25,000 तक पहुंच पाते हैं। 4 आंखों की जरूरत हो, हम सिर्फ 1 दे पाते हैं। सड़क दुर्घटना में मृत्यु होने पर शरीर के ऑर्गन को डोनेट किया जा सकता है। कुछ कानूनी उलझने भी बहुत हैं। राज्यों को भी इस दिशा में मार्गदर्शन करने का प्रयास हुआ है। कुछ राज्यों ने कागजी कार्यवाही को कम करके इसमें गति लाने का काफ़ी अच्छा प्रयास किया है। आज मैं कह सकता हूँ ऑर्गन डोनेशन, अंगदान के क्षेत्र में तमिलनाडु अग्रिम पंक्ति में है। कई सामाजिक संस्थाएं, कई एनजीओज बहुत ही अच्छा काम इस दिशा में कर रहे हैं। ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांट को बढ़ावा देने के लिए नेशनल ऑर्गन एंड टिश्यू ट्रांसप्लांट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नोटो की स्थापना की गई है। एक 24/7 हेल्पलाइन 1800-11-470 ये भी सेवा उपलब्ध है। और हमारे यहाँ तो कहा गया है तेन तकतेन भुंजी था, त्याग करने का जो आनंद होता है उसका बहुत उत्तम वर्णन तेन तकतेन भुंजी था इस मंत्र में है। पिछले दिनों हम सब ने टीवी पर देखा था कि दिल्ली के जीबी पंत हॉस्पिटल में एक गरीब ठेले वाला हॉकर, उसकी पत्नी का लीवर ट्रांसप्लांट किया गया और ये लीवर विशेष इंतजाम करके लखनऊ से दिल्ली लाया गया था और वो ऑपरेशन सफल रहा, एक जिंदगी बच गई। अंगदान महादान, तेन तकतेन भूंजी, इस भाव को हम चरितार्थ करें, इस बात को हम अवश्य।
है ना, बात पकड़ती है। अरे वो ऑनलाइन पकड़े हुए हैं हम। Hello, Ajit. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Good
ma'am.
evening. Good evening, Dr. Saab.
Balram, sir, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir. Saju, sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening, teachers.
evening.
Ma'am. जी. Okay. हाँ.
Good evening, Pradeep.
अच्छा, आपकी वो वाली PDF भी नहीं है मैम, जिसमें आपने चेंजेस बताई है ना? हाँ, जो आपने कल मेल डलवाई है ना, उसमें मैंने तो आपको बोला था मेरे पास सिर्फ फोटोग्राफ्स आई हैं, PDF नहीं आई चेंजेस वाली.
Good evening, Salil.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Salil.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
नहीं मैम, हाँ उनसे बात हुई थी मेरी, मैंने उनको बताया कि एक तो मेरे फोटोग्राफ्स नहीं आई और एक बार मेरे पास चेंजेस नहीं आई, मैम कुछ चेंजेस बता रहे थे, कहते मैं आज कर दूंगा, और मेरे आने से फोन करने से पहले उन्होंने मुझे फोटोग्राफ्स तो भेज दी, लेकिन उन्होंने चेंजेस
Good evening, everybody. This is Sushant from E Club Dehradun.
Welcome, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Arjinder ma'am. So nice to see you.
कैसे हो जी?
बढ़िया जी.
अभी भी वाराणसी?
हाँ.
Good, good, good.
Hi.
कैसे हो?
Hi नंदिता मैम.
कैसे हो?
बढ़िया, आपका बैकग्राउंड तो सही है.
मेरा बैकग्राउंड सही है.
We just have to acknowledge the youngest attendee today.
Yeah.
Hello sir, कैसे हैं
Dr.
संजय वाटे sir?
Harinderjit Kaur.
Yes. It's
Good evening.
Harinderjit ma'am अच्छा है, वो भी she'll also know about organ donation at this age.
हाँ मैंने अपना फॉर्म भरा हुआ है last year, but I didn't get any response from PGI.
The situation has happened with many other members also, and Dr. Rita said it probably did not get synced. So I think we should, members who had done it last year can do it again this year.
I have pledged my body to PGI and I have got a card.
That's great. That's great, ma'am.
So Sanjay ji, you must tell us should we register ourselves again or that form will do?
I'm suggesting to register again.
Okay.
Because over the last 3 weeks, I was trying to get the cards, get into the problem. So the feedback I've got through Dr. Rita is that it has not got synced, the forms and the database. So there is some issue, which is why what we can do, we can make a list of the members who had pledged and not got. Maybe 2, 3, or 5 of them can do again first to see what is happening, and then the others can join in once we see the process is running through.
Okay. Okay. Because I think it was on this date only last year.
Yes.
Did you submit the form in PJ only?
ऑनलाइन था ना, that was online, तो ऑनलाइन ही किया था जो भी प्रोसेस था उस वक्त.
क्योंकि मैंने तो 2005 में किया था pledge.
नहीं,
so
ये
I
तो
went and I got a card, smart card है मेरे पास.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Kulbir ji, you can let me know when we have to start, and then I'll start the presentation. Or if we have to wait for some more time, we can play another organ donation video.
I am waiting from Sanjay sir to say that we have to start.
Sanjay sir. Can we start?
Yes, please.
Over to you, Kulbir sir.
Right. Thank you, Shruti ji. President Sanjay sir, Secretary Shruti ji, keynote speaker, past President Lieutenant Dr. Balram Gupta ji, our special guest of the day, Lieutenant Kamal Tiwana ji, PDG Shaju sir, AG Rita ma'am, all the dignitaries present, all the council members of Rotary Club Samaritans, Rotarians, Rotaractors, guests, and friends. A very good evening and warm welcome to all in a webinar on organ gift is a gift of life. So it is a very important aspect which will be covered by our keynote speaker. And I will first like to request and invite our chief guest of the day today, past President Rotarian Kamal Tiwana ji, who is District C080 Chair for Organ Donation, to have a few words with us.
Sir, please unmute yourself. I've sent the request. Thank you.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I would like to welcome you all and thank you for being a part of this webinar. I would also like to thank our District Governor Ramesh Bajaji for giving me this opportunity of being a part of this service. As we all know, today is the World Organ Donation Day. It is a day which is observed on August 13 to motivate people to donate their healthy organs. After their death, to save lives of others, it also attempts to eliminate fears and myths people have in their minds regarding organ donation. Huge population in India dies due to organ failure every year. I really appreciate Rotary Club Chandigarh Midtown, which has taken this initiative to organize this webinar. I wish them best of luck and would be obliged to lend full cooperation and help to make this noble cause a success. God bless.
Thank you, sir. Kulbir ji.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. You have said a very important thing. Donation is given or a tissue to help someone who needs transplantation. And a transplant can save or transform the life of a person. One organ donor can save 8 persons. And Thank you very much for your views. Now I
Thank
will
you, sir.
request Rita ma'am to please introduce our keynote speaker today.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this organ donation seminar, and wishing you a very happy International Organ Donors Day. And most important is I've been assigned a very difficult task today. This is Suraj ko thoughts dikhana ya diya dikhana, but I'll try my best because Dr. Balram K. Gupta, Professor.
Ma'am, your voice is cracking. Ma'am, your voice is cracking.
Okay. So, can you hear it now? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, but you
Slightly.
know, voice is just cracking. Maybe internet is not very stable.
Sorry, internet issue hoga. So, to introduce Professor Dr. Balram K. Gupta, he is a blend of academic and professional law. He is a judicial educator at national and international level, and he is a designated senior advocate and was formerly director, National Judicial Academy, India. He is Dean, Faculty of Law, Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar, Professor and Chairman, Department of Laws, Punjab University, Chandigarh, and Parliamentary Fellow, IC universities and institutes in UK and USA, and contributed papers in national and international journals. And he has been honored with State Award of Nyay Ratan as Distinguished Alumnus and an Exceptional Academician of Punjab University. He has been honored as the first Global PU Alumni Association for stellar contribution to the field of law. And as we all know, he has been Rotarian charter member of Rotary Club of Chandigarh Midtown. He was president 2002-2003, and he has received Lifetime Achievement Award by Rotary International District 3080. He has been Paul Harris Fellow, founder member, and Society of Meritorious Students, Chandigarh. So this is a very brief introduction. We all know he's guru of so many gurus, and his achievements also include the achievements of his students who are so well placed right now. So I would I'll request everyone to welcome Professor Dr. Balram Gupta with a loud round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Rita. What a magnificent and magnanimous introduction. In fact, to this particular audience of Rotarians of our club, I need no introduction. However, you have put me into a situation where I have to justify myself. President Sanjay, Secretary Suchi, the chief guest of the evening, past President Kamal Tiwana, the chair organ donation. Fellow Rotarians and Rotractors, this is a special day. And this also is a special assemblage of Rotarians and Rotractors. Rotractors, which indeed is a part, the young wing or the youth wing of Rotary, but particularly from July 1 this year, the Rotractors constitute to be a part of Rotary family as such. And therefore, I'm so very happy to speak to you on this World Organ Donation Day. Human beings are dependent upon human beings. Automobile spare parts are available in market. Human spare parts and organs are not available in market. And therefore, each one is dependent upon the other one. And this is the real challenge of human life for that matter. Article 23 of the Indian Constitution prohibits human trafficking. As a student of law, way back more than 55 years, I thought that human trafficking was limited only to buying and selling of human beings, or the kind of activities which are otherwise not well received as such. I had absolutely no idea that human parts or human organs, there could be trading and trafficking in that aspect also. In the year 1993, a year before, the Transplantation of Human Organ Act, which was enacted in the year 1994, I had the opportunity of addressing a gathering of judges and lawyers in Chandigarh itself. And at that particular time, human trafficking or trading was virtually rampant as such. And therefore, the need for the Act of 1994 was felt and was enacted for that matter. Under the Act of 1994, it is the blood relations, the close relations, that they can donate their organs for their relations as such. But donation of organs of those who are not related, non-related persons, is it open to them to donate, give or not? Of course, it is open to them, but who would gift an organ, put his own life in danger, in question as such? And therefore, the issue that arises in this particular context is that many practices, the commercialization of the human body. In the year 1993, I raised certain pertinent questions. Do I have the absolute right on my body or not? Do I not have the right to sell parts of my own body if I wish to? If my economic condition is such that I cannot provide education to my children, or there are other practical difficulties, can I not sell a kidney of my own and earn money and able to take care of certain situations which are necessary for that matter? There were two schools of thought that yes, I have a right on my body, And if the situation warrants and demands, it should be open to me to deal with my body in the manner that I wish to. The other part was, certainly the human body is not on sale. Its parts are not on sale. And therefore the Act of 1994 in fact limits basically, primarily, the organs, the cadaver organs, brain dead body, the organs to be taken and to be transplanted. That was the basic thing under this particular act to regulate for that matter. Now the question that arises, that the demand for the organs is so much and the supply of organs, the gift of organs or the donation of organs is just minimal at that. And therefore what to do in situations of this kind? Consequently, what was done was in this particular context that why can't we pledge the body and therefore in the event of the death the organs could be taken. A death giving life to so many other persons, life beyond death. What a gift. Even in death, that you're giving life, providing life to others. That's the beauty of this particular gift. In Rotary, we talk of service beyond self. But this particular gift goes a step further. Service beyond life, even in death that you are serving for that matter. The Constitution provides a particular fundamental duty for every citizen to develop humanism and to promote the spirit of brotherhood. The preamble to the Indian Constitution speaks of fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual. Now, if that be the message of the Constitution, the mandate of the Constitution, humans for that matter, and therefore this is the real challenge, that the real dignity after death also you experience when you donate your organs and give life to others in that process. This, in fact, is the real beauty of this. In some of the countries, on death, the organs are taken from the body. As such, no pledging of the body and no consent even required. The only thing is that this assumption that the organs will be taken from your body, unless you specifically deny that, it is presumed that on your death, your body can be put to use in order to give life to others. But specifically, if you say no to that, then alone, otherwise the thing. I, for one, would urge the Rotarians, the Rotractors, each one of us should take a walk to pledge our bodies at God. After all, each one has to meet that end. And if meeting that end, we can contribute to the lives of many others, can there be a better gift than this particular gift? As a young student, almost 60 years back, I used to donate blood. And the kind of satisfaction that I used to draw, that you are saving a life, you are helping somebody, that in itself was such a feeling. You are giving the juice of life to someone else. And by giving an organ, this is the real challenge. Can there be a better gift than this particular gift of life for that matter? I command, I urge you all, please let your bodies and make the lives of others worth living. After all, human beings are for human beings. And this indeed is the biggest challenge as such. My message to you all is, feel so good in serving humanity beyond your own life itself. That's the best thing that one can really think of. Having said this, and this is a message which each one of us must carry it out effectively. I look into some other aspects. One of the basic questions which has been raised, should the prisoners, the convicts, be also made eligible to donate their organs or not? A prisoner is confined. His freedom of movement is curtailed for the wrong, the crime that is committed. But does that mean his link with the Constitution, his link with his rights as a prisoner, as a convict, if he finds that his brother needs a kidney, should he be not allowed to donate kidney? There have been cases where the prisoners have made written requests to the jail authorities to permit them to donate kidney, to donate blood. And invariably they have been denied that particular right, saying that there is no specific provision which permits the donation of an organ by a prisoner. I ask, is there a provision prohibiting that, stopping that? And if none, he has a right. And if he wishes to save the life of a close relation, why should he be not permitted to do that? Lately, for the close relations, like under the Act of 1994, the same thing is now permitted to the prisoners also, relating to the close relations. Do we need to go a step further? If a prisoner wishes to save the life of a co-prisoner, hello?
Sir, yes, sir, please go on. Balram, sir, your voice is a little low. If you can just increase the voice and stay a little off the screen. थोड़ा सा पीछे हो जाइए तो हमें हाँ, that's real nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You know, the point is that if a prisoner wishes to donate a kidney for a co-prisoner, should he be not allowed to do that? So far, this is not permitted. It's not a question in every case, the sale of the kidney. The only question is that you can't commercialize the human organ. Understandable. But if willingly, if a prisoner wishes to save the life of a prisoner or somebody else outside, why should such a donation of an organ be not permitted? That's what is actually required. Similarly, the question is, a petition was filed in the apex court of the country, the Supreme Court, in which the death sentence given to 4 persons in the Nirbhay's case, that the organs from their bodies should be taken. And there's a worldwide debate going on the issue that those who are given death sentence, should they be not given an option to donate their kidneys or any other organ of the body? Now, the question that arises in this particular context is that by donating the kidney or any other organ, it is not that he would be given pardon or will not be hanged or will not be given the death sentence. But still, even in this kind of a situation, after all, the human body, if it can save certain other human beings and give life to them, the question is, why not? And that is the reason that is actually a question before the courts and a debate going on. The Indian Supreme Court did not permit this. And it said that if it is permitted, what would happen? Cutting the body into parts? My response to that is the autopsy, the postmortem, which is done after death. What is that? And if the human body, which is no more having life, and if we can retrieve some organ or organ and give life to others, that's the real beauty. That the human body continues to give life to others, even in death. And therefore, I would urge that yes, the situation is such where there is a lot of illegal practices going on, the human parts of the body are being sold in one way or the other. You know, a mother, 8 years old son, need of kidney. She gets pregnant, aborts the fetus, takes out the kidney and is transplanted to save the life of 8 years old son. The medical science has advanced so much. Women abort, and the cosmetic industry, from the fetus, they prepare creams which would give you the facial wrinkle-free faces as such. There have been misutilization also of all this as such. But the challenge is human beings must come forward, serve human beings for that matter, pledge your bodies, and I'm sure the kind of a feeling, the kind of satisfaction, the inner satisfaction, even in death, you would have. And particularly your own family members would feel that I am living through the body of the life of someone else to whom the organ would be given. Therefore, in conclusion, I would urge one and all, let us take a pledge to pledge our bodies and save other human beings. That's the challenge. And if we could do that, I'm sure many lives would live healthy lives, even in your death for that matter. Thank you so much.
So now I would like to invite Harshit Khosla, President Rotary Club Samaritans, for a formal vote of thanks.
No, if any questions, I'll be very happy to respond to them.
Please, sir. We just have to ask the house for any questions. So,
Yes.
kindly.
Can I?
Yes, sir. Sure, please. Please, Shaju, sir.
Balram, I would like you to name a few countries where on death the organs are taken away as a matter of routine, as you said. I have not heard of any.
See, this is happening in Spain and France also. I read it, and there are some other countries as well. I would certainly get back to you, but I did read this, that in those countries, you don't have to pledge your body. They take the organ unless you have given in writing that no organs should not be taken. This is a matter of record as such.
Okay. And a question.
Yes.
As the law stands today in India,
Yes.
is there a restriction on a prisoner opting for donating his organ?
Yes. See, the question is, so far it was being denied. Written requests and the jail authorities used to deny that request. Specifically, there is no such provision in law. Now, we have to apply the basic provision of the Act of 1994. Now, in case of non-relations, in case of a relation, yes, now they have started permitting the prisoner also to donate an organ. There is no bar of that particular scope. In case of donation to a non-relation, in that particular context, the same procedure is required to be followed, which is required to be followed in general in the common situation, otherwise as that, which is a long, a cumbersome, a tedious process in order to ensure that human body is not on sale and economic considerations do not come into play. I would add a caveat here. You know, we need to come forward, which means the state itself should come out with certain policies for that matter. If a non-relation is wanting to donate an organ, and economic consideration is also there, and even otherwise, having donated a kidney, his health condition in future, the state, the recipient should provide insurance policies in order to cover the future of the one who donates organ. Such schemes need to be brought in. This is something which is being thought of, but then still nothing much has been done. I'm sure if mindful policies come forward and people are encouraged where they wish to come forward and the future is secured of those who come forward to donate organs, certainly this would be a step forward in this particular direction. That's what my take on this particular scope.
Arun Sharma from Ponta. Can I ask a question?
Certainly. Such a pleasure.
Thank you, Balaram. What is the legal situation if the donor, after his death, is not permitted by the relatives to donate? And there's a mandate and recipients are there, but the family doesn't allow. I think shouldn't it be the legal right because he has signed, then it should be a must mandatory. And I don't know about the legal situation of this.
See, the question is, if he has already pledged his body, then even the relations cannot say no to that. See, I pledge my body today, death occurs, and thereafter, at the time of death, my relations do not permit that the organ be taken and transplanted into some other body. Surely my relations can't object to that. In my lifetime, I have given in writing that I am pledged. I have the right on my body. My relation would not dictate me on that particular scope. And during my lifetime, I have pledged already. There would be no difficulty in regard to that. Question is, if there is no such pledging, now there are two options. Either the relations say, please feel free, and it is happening in many cases. Take the organ, give life to others. But there are cases where they say no to that. And in law, we have nothing to deal with that kind of a situation so far. But my own view of the matter is that in such a situation after death, why should the hospitals, the doctors be not allowed to take the organs? And the objection of the relations be also overruled. After all, in the larger interest, the brotherhood, that you are giving life to somebody else. You are no more. Your life cannot be put to any use as that. But if your body can save some other lives, why deny that? That's the challenge. And
excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me, Dr. Balram. Now, I am ready to donate my actually body. But my children say that it's a lot of hassle. Now, PGI takes a lot of time to take the body and take out the organs. It happened in case of Suraj Handa. They had to wait for hours because it was his wish that he wanted to give the body. But then PGI took so much time. So it's a hassle to the family.
That's right.
So
Let me respond to this. Let me respond to this. You know, this hassle does take place at times. I'm sure with passage of time, even the entire procedure on death would be so regulated that these hassles would not come in the way. You know, certain things, as you know, the system that it operates, and it takes time. In fact, the hospitals, the PGI itself, would not like to lose time because retrieving the organ at the earliest is the first consideration. Otherwise, if the time is allowed to pass, maybe that organ is of no consequence as such. And therefore, these hassles would be taken care. I'm sure not in every situation. We have to march forward.
Till we are prepared.
You know, let me put it, scientific temper is the duty of every citizen to develop. We don't have to be emotional. We have to look forward as to how best that we can serve the humanity. Humans for humanity. I know it's difficult to accept. I know it is difficult for the close ones to accept. But ponder, think it over. I'm sure you would find it that yes, it is in the larger interest. Human race, dependent upon human race. We can't go anywhere else as such. And therefore, let us get out of that dilemma of relations feeling this way or that way. It's a matter of time. I remember blood donation used to be a challenge at one point of time during my own lifetime. And today, people are willingly willing to donate blood. Situation would improve. I'm very positive, optimistic about this.
Thank you. Children are in a hurry to dispose you of.
I know. I mean, we are part of the same family. Rotary has to carry forward this particular matter. I'm sure.
Do we have any other questions for Balram sir?
Yes, one from me.
Yes, please go ahead.
So, good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. This is Rotractor Vatsal from Delhi. So, first, I had a question. Do we, in India, do we have a centralized system for organ harvesting? As in, is there a waiting list, a central waiting list for people who are waiting for organs?
I don't think so. You have a point, and this needs to be done. Absolutely necessary. But I'm sure it is being worked out. There is a need for central system of harvesting the organs. Absolutely, you are so very on spot for this particular aspect.
Sir, I had two follow-up questions as well.
Yes.
You talked about ensuring people who willingly donate their organs, but sir, what I feel is, will this not create a nexus between the hospitals and the big giant insurance firms, who lure people in and unnecessarily creating insurances and everything for people who actually donate their organs?
You have a point, but let me put it this way. Any scheme has many pitfalls and the weak spots also. with passage of time, with experience that we gain over a period of time, we would overcome all those aspects also. I know, you come out with any kind of legislation, any kind of a policy, you can point out and find a way out which would take you to the negative aspect only. After all, human mind and many considerations prevail in this process also. And therefore, let us try to regulate and control with passage of time. Human life is a laboratory itself. We learn many things in the process of that. If today something is being done, I'm sure with passage of time, those weak links can be taken under control, and we look forward for a positive situation.
So just one last thing I wanted to ask. I totally support the idea of organ donation, but my thought behind it is, it should be, it should, you should not monetize it, because if say people start donating organs or say giving organs for monetary benefits, will this not give rise to the idea of life being for sale?
See, I started with that. Life is not on sale. Human body is not on sale. Absolutely. Be very clear about it. And the idea of sale is not that also. Question is, there are persons who may not be related and yet keen to save my life for that matter. I understand the monetary considerations in that process, but also at the same time, if someone is willing to donate a kidney, do I not have an obligation to secure his future also? It is the security of the future. That is what is paramount in the mind of the recipient as that. It's not the commercial angle. Please don't take it from that aspect. It's a question of that if somebody is willing, I'm not getting the kidney, for instance, and somebody who's not related to me, known to me, close to me otherwise, is willing to donate a kidney, and it is matching. And he is not even asking for any monetary gain for that matter. In a situation like this, don't you think a welfare state should come forward with welfare schemes to ensure that even this kind of a thing is possible? Surely, I'm one with you, human body is not on sale. But then, whatever positive steps that we can take, we must come forward with those steps. This is my take on this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vatsal. Are there any other questions from the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please go ahead, Arundhati.
So, sir, being retractors, what can we do to aware people about organ donation? As many people think that after donating an organ, we won't be able to do a funeral according to the Hindu religion or any other religion's tradition. Hello.
Balram sir, could you hear the question?
No, I
think, okay. Arundhati?
Yes, ma'am.
There is some internet issue. Balram sir's video has paused. We'll just wait for his video to come back up so that, he can hear your question.
Sure, ma'am.
Balram sir, are you there? We seem to have lost him.
Please repeat the question.
Okay. Yes, sir. Arundhati, please go ahead.
So, sir, being retractors, what can we do to aware people about organ donation? Because many people think that we won't be able to do a funeral after organ donation, according to the Hindu tradition.
She's saying that many people think that they won't be able to do the funeral according to the Hindu tradition.
Certainly not that. Certainly not that. You know, the body is still there. If part of a body is taken away, for instance, during my lifetime, I had given a kidney. And on my death, does it mean that the last rites can't be performed? Similarly, if an organ is taken on death, certainly, and you know, these traditions we have to change with the change of times. Did we ever think earlier of pledging our bodies? And therefore, see, the Hindu traditions or the family traditions, I'm sure you live much better the second life if you are able to give life to some others, even in your death, than not doing so. That's my take on this. And feel absolutely, you know, the retractors can do what? Pledging the bodies is a campaign. It's an education to the people. Like you have a question, there would be many, many others who would be having questions. And therefore, play a definite role, campaign, and make sure that you give life even in your death to others. That's the motto of even the retractors also.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions or?
Suji, I have a question.
Yes, Amarjeet sir, please go ahead.
Dr. Balram, one of my cousin died in PGI under treatment. He was very young, 32-year-old.
Yes.
So I persuaded my uncle and aunt to donate his eyes. And they agreed and the eyes were donated.
Yes.
Then I asked the team that, can you give us the name of the beneficiaries?
Yes.
They refused. They said, sir, we can't give the name of beneficiaries. Don't you feel that there should be a provision in the law?
Certainly. I'm sure, I mean, this is something positive to share the name. Why?
This can also stop the malpractices, sir.
Yes.
They can even sell the organ further, not in PGI, but in other hospitals.
It can happen in certain situations. You are right. And
so is there any provision in the law where the
there is no such
family can know the name of the beneficiaries?
See, there is no such provision. Either way, not to know or to deny that particular, which means if it is silent and you ask the name of the recipient, I'm sure they are duty bound to give you the name as such, the details of that particular person.
They said as a policy matter, we don't disclose the names of recipients.
What could be the possible rationale behind that?
I don't know. They said it is a policy matter with it.
No, in CMC Ludhiana, they do tell. Actually, the family comes to thank the relatives of the donor. It happened in front of my house. Her father gave donated the eyes, and the family came to her house to thank.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. See, if somebody has donated an organ and you have saved a life, the recipient family the least that they can do, acknowledge this fact. And if we can't even do this, then why a human being live for another human being? Amarjit, you are absolutely right. And I think whatever I can do in this particular matter, I would take up this issue as such. Certainly.
Thank you.
This needs help. This needs help.
Do we have any other questions?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question.
Sure. Please go ahead, Chinmay.
Good evening, sir. Sir, being from a medical background, I myself is from a medical background, and what I feel is yes, we do seminars, we take pledges as well, right? But there also comes the fact that there are some family restrictions and all. Everything is fine, but on the contrary part, what I think is ki in the country, or you can say in abroad, in the country as well, there are thousands, you can say hundreds of clinical trials going on. And there are hundreds of people that are enrolled in that clinical trials, diseased as well as healthy. So can the government or the hospitals, we can basically tie up with them and have a basic plan that those people that have already been a part of those clinical trials, they can be motivated because they are voluntarily came forward for the clinical trial, so they can also voluntarily come forward for the organ donation. That can basically have a more positive impact on the same.
I agree with you. And this practice should be encouraged so that it would be a motivating factor also in that particular process. This is a step positive and it should be encouraged to be carried forward. I agree with you on that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chinmay. Thank you, sir. Any other questions from the house? I think, Balram sir, we are done with the questions. Wonderful answers. I'm gonna hand it over to Kulbir ji. Kulbir ji, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Shuji, for conducting us important part of question and answers. Thank you, sir, for wonderful answers. And now I once again invite Harshit, Rotractor President, Rotary Club Samaritans, to formally give a vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening to everyone present over here, all the Rotarians, Rotractors, and all the special guests. I would like to express immense appreciation for your inspiring word from everyone's behalf. We are deeply honored to have you here and learn so much from you. Listening to you has enriched our lives and embedded in us a desire to succeed with every giving up, and we will definitely aware people about organ donation and why is it important to become an organ donor. At last, thank you so much, sir. It was an honor listening to your inspiring words. Over to you, Shuchi ma'am.
Thank you. Over to you, Kulbir ji.
Yeah, so I just, it was a very wonderful talk, as very well defined by Harshit. The take home is that without the organ donor, there is no story, no hope, and no transplant. But when there is a organ donor, then, the life springs from death, sorrow turns to hope, and a terrible loss becomes a gift. We are born with the ability to change someone's life, and, we should not waste it. So live life after that. Let's pledge to donate organs. With this, I hand over this to Sanjay sir.
Thank you, Kulbir. And thank you to all the participants and to especially our keynote speaker, Dr. Balram Gupta. Today's program was an effort to get on the same platform, the millennials, the Rotractors, and also the Rotarians, some of whom are senior citizens. And it was very interesting to see, a question coming from a senior citizen and the next question or query coming from the younger generation. Shuchi, we can take the slide off. I think it's okay. Thank you. Normally in such webinars, as it progresses, people start looking at the watch and probably the interest wanes. But I think the questions really kept it very, very interesting from all of you. So let this not just be a one-off session because it was the organ donation day. Let all the participants today be something like a task force which carries the message across to more people. Though you all would be aware, the website to register is lampoflife.in, www.lampoflife.in. Shruchi has that displayed the screen. And for our Rotary Club, since you've heard past President Dr. Balram Gupta today, let me say this channel is open for any voices, any queries you would have. And even with the question answers today, especially the, some very interesting questions like past President Amarjeet had, I think maybe we could even think of having an FAQ and creating an FAQ for the benefit of, the larger public. And so thank you all. And with this, we adjourn this session. And I think the recording would be available, Shruchi?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this recording would be made available on Rotary Chandigarh Midtown channel, and we would inform you as soon as this is done. Thank you and good evening to all of you again. You can give the final thank you. We can log off.
Thank you, past President Balram, sir. It was an awesome speech, actually. Very relevant questions by everyone. All the past district governors, seniors, past presidents. Thanks to one and all for joining this meeting, this webinar, making it a success. Thank you, Sanjay, sir.
Thank you, Suchi. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.